Christ, you people suck. Wow. Wolverine on a tangent.
Back in the days when we played video games, it was hardcore for the nerdy and lazy. Now things have changed and all our video games are also for the casual and lady. But that's okay, you know the score. We told you a million times before. Playing consoles, not just games, is in the past. And every week you listen to the best damn internet radio crew. It's the N4G podcast. It's the N4G podcast.
Alright, it's time for the week. N4G Radio.
I say unlistenable radio.
What's that?
Unlistenable radio.
Unlistenable radio. Episode 617. 617. For August 31st.
Another one you can skip. It's just me and Ken, boys.
Yeah, there's not Drew showing up halfway
Nope.
through. But it is a special episode that in the fact that it's very rare that we do 5 episodes in a month. In the month of August 2020, there are 5 episodes.
Everybody else only signed up for like 2 or 3 each.
Yeah, we don't need any more than that. So as you can hear on the show, it's just me and Anthony this week because nobody wants to bother to show up. Even though Gambus Khan appeared on Twitter, he won't be on the show. Because why would he be?
Yeah. Have you heard us? I wouldn't be on this show either.
Yeah. Oh, anyway. Video games.
Yeah, I only got like 2 main ones to talk about. More Samurai Jack. Yeah, that game's still pretty good. I miss these types of games. I miss having a game that doesn't feel like it's going to absorb all my time. But I'm more than happy to like go back and play older levels and blast through them faster because I'm stronger now. I like how the levels have a slight exploration in it. It just feels like I've gone back to a time where things were simpler, not because of programming limitations, but just because that was kind of the thing to do to be successful.
I felt that with Destroy All Humans earlier this year.
Yeah, which is again a smaller sort of experience where it's open world-ish. But the Samurai Jack game, the fact that it's all these linear levels, but then they have the branching paths and like, oh, this one has a treasure chest at the end and stuff. I really enjoyed that. The other game I was playing, I mean, the description of it's pretty simple. It's a sort of Doom clone roguelike. And it is called Post Void. And you are constantly dying. You have to kill other enemies to keep your health up. So you're basically on a timer, and you have to keep adding time. But if you get shot, time gets removed. And it's like this crystal skull thing that's filled with a liquid. And you get a pistol to start off with. You have unlimited ammo, but the gun has to reload. And when you're done a level, you get the option of adding like a bonus to you. So you can change guns sometimes. You can shoot more, reload less. You can shoot faster. Time in the the skull thing that you're carrying drains slower. Bullets from enemies move slower, and everything has this really kind of gross look to it. It reminds me a lot of Hotline Miami's, like the way that the people are drawn and stuff. Like the way the art is reminds me of Hotline Miami, more specifically Cactus Squid, who did a bunch of other games before Hotline Miami. Has a very unique style. It's not him, from my understanding, but it's really good, and it's like $4. And what's good about it is that unlike other roguelites, I should say, not roguelike, but roguelites, is that it's quick. it is super quick. So you die, you restart, you die, you restart, you keep going. And the whole idea is that you're trying to make it through like 14 levels. And boy, does it get hard quick. I kind of addicted to it because it's just easy to pick up, play a couple rounds, go, I'm not doing so well, and then just put it back down. So those are kind of the two things I've been playing. I would have played more this week, but just life. So
It's always about life.
yeah, fucking life really gets in the way and it's fucking up stuff for me. I want to play video games.
You should be in my house for a day where I feel like for the last 3 months it's been nothing but home bullshit. Whether it was the carpet and then the air conditioner and now the roof, and then I've got to do some drywall replacement. My wife's painting 3 different rooms. I swear.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I need to get out and mow the grass today, which my son so eloquently told me as soon as I got out of bed that there was a snake back by the garden. I'm like, oh, cool. Thanks.
Did you get rid of him? That's what you should have said.
He went back. Yeah, it should have been like, did you get him out of the yard? Because your dad's terrified of snakes. But no, they said he ran back to the neighbor's yard. So I guess I need to get out and cut the grass. I haven't cut.
So that's when you grab him by the arm. It's like, you ain't running away from snakes, boy. Your dad can't take care of this. You need to learn now.
I just put him in front of my mower as I'm mowing. Like, you walk and spot.
and I'll aim for the snake when you see him.
When you see him, kind of run him in front of the lawnmower and we'll take care of it. Oh, I played a lot this week, but I didn't play anything in a large quantity except for Overwatch, which I played for like 5 hours. So I'll just kind of run through these. So first up, a couple of reviews that I've been playing that I finished up. One's up and the other one's going up this week. Madden. Whew. The lowest score I've ever given a Madden. I am one of those people that have always been kind of a staunch defender, saying, like, hey, the joke is that it's a roster upgrade every year, and that has not been true. It kind of is true.
Not for, because you know what? Honestly, like outside of EA's sort of like Switch versions of games, usually like the older console version of it, they're pretty good at updating every year. Like even NHL and stuff. I mean, I know there's been a couple step backwards, but at least it wasn't just the repackaged game to some extent.
So
sports games generally aren't that. I mean, I think a lot of people would be happier if it was just a upgrade sometimes, but
that was literally the end of my review. Was like, every year I'm like, okay, it might not be revolutionary, but it's worth picking. As the first year where I was like, this may be the year that you just sell like a $20 to $30 roster and upgrade system, because so I play a lot of franchise, and literally the franchise mode is exactly the same thing with exactly the same commentary, with exactly the same bugs and issues that last year's version had, with a different font. It's the same game.
Well, they spent all the money on the covers, the games. So
yeah, the Yard, which is the new mode, the like NFL Street style game, was so broken during my review period that like players wouldn't even show up in the game.
That actually hurts me on a level, because I'm not a huge fan of sports games in general, unless they're like old school baseball ones, in which case I'm apparently into them. But that sucks, because those EA sports game, like the street games, pretty fucking fun. Just to even like totally not beat, because I don't know what the fuck's going on in football or basketball games, but boy, they were still stupid fun.
Yeah.
That's really disappointing, because that would be really interesting if they started combining like NFL and the street sort of games that they used to do together in one package. But to hear that doesn't work well.
Yeah, there's lots of issues with this game. when I wrote my review. Menus lagging in MUT, which is hilarious because that's their bread and butter. The franchise mode feels exactly the same with a couple extra added. College teams. I mean, it is not a good game this year, and I have not seen a whole lot of. See, what's funny about it though is like the improvements they made to the gameplay were good, but they're hard to appreciate when everything surrounding it is not very good.
So do you think they're putting all the effort into the next gen version?
I would be shocked if they are, because here's my thing. Every time there's a new generation of consoles, sports games take like a huge step backwards and as far as features and stuff goes. So since owning the original Madden entitles you to the new Madden, I will be very interested to see this game come November when these consoles launch. I'm curious if it is a legitimate upgrade or more of just like, I don't know. I don't know what I expect it to look like, because Madden's never looked bad in this generation. It's always looked good. The question is, how much better can it look? The other game that I wrote my review for that's not live yet is Windbound. If you watched the trailer for this game, you were like, man, this looks like a cool Zelda Breath of the Wild kind of game. It's not that. It is a survival game with procedurally generated areas, with lots of crafting stacked on top of crafting. And it is a roguelike, whereas if you die, you literally lose everything that you do not have in a certain storage area in your inventory, and you start back over at the beginning of the area. The combat is not super interesting, feels a little stiff at times. The platforming feels fine, but not nearly as good or polished as what it's clearly trying to mirror. The one thing that I do like about the game is I do like the art style. I do like the little mysteries that are scattered around the island. It reminds me of like a Minecraft or a what's another good one? Like,
Subnautica?
yeah, Subnautica, or what's the dinosaur game? Like the storyline in that was
Ark.
was like interestingly vague.
Okay.
Not to speak to the quality of Ark, because I don't think Ark is a very fun game, but it reminded me of that, where like there's this beacon on the island, you go there and you activate it and it does something else, and it's just that kind of stuff. So those parts are interesting, but when the core loop gameplay is not very fun. One of the things I hate about crafting is when you stack crafting on crafting. So for example, you can pick up grass on any island, and then you craft it into a grass rope. The grass rope doesn't really do anything except craft something else. So it's like you get the grass to craft the grass rope and use the grass rope to craft something else. It's like
it only makes sense when you create something that's like, oh, I've created this sort of like this tool, and then if I use this craft with this tool and something else, it makes a new thing. It's the only time I'm okay with it. But yeah, if it's just like collect grass, the grass has one thing to use. Well, why would I have to make the rope then? Just let me use the grass.
Yeah, it's just an extra menu that I don't really feel like I needed to go through. Like they could have just streamlined that, but instead I have to craft the grass. Like when you go to build your boat and you're like, well, I need 6 grass ropes and 5 rocks, and you're like, well, okay, so I got to go collect so much grass to craft so much grass rope so I can craft a boat. Okay, this is fun. Yeah, it's really not fun. Those kind of things are not for me, and it makes me sad because that game looked super cool, and I was very disappointed with it. I did buy the Alan Wake DLC. I haven't played it. I made it to the first cutscene, but I need to play that. I booted up Wasteland 3 because it's on Game Pass, and I was like, yep, there is that. Those games are not for me. Like so many menus and buttons and where are you going and where are you placing your players, and I just don't think I like tactical strategy games. It's not my jam. And I think that's all for the big games. Now I'll run through my ID games that I played this week. The first one I played is on Game Pass, and I think you should check it out. It's Hypnospace Outlaw. That game is cool. So, have you played this?
This is one of those. Anthony's gonna buy it and think about playing it on PC.
Yeah,
Anthony
you should
forgot
definitely.
about it.
Yeah,
Didn't
you
play
should
it on
definitely.
PC. Yeah, so I actually saw a video back when it released on PC from Nitro Rad, and I saw like a couple minutes of it. He was describing it, and I'm like, all right, this seems like kind of my jam. I'm gonna play it, and then I picked it up when it was on sale, and then have not played it.
Yeah, I kind of want to play some more of it, but
All right, well, I'll hop on it. You play more of it. We'll have a better talk about it.
yeah, but just to give anybody who hasn't played it yet, it's on Game Pass, so check it out. But it is essentially like you work for this company on the internet in the 1990s, and you have to use this browser to catch people doing bad things, like posting pictures that are copyrighted or songs, and just the level of detail that they go into.
Oh yeah, like I've heard about some of the the fake web pages they've built that are
Oh,
so
they're
specifically
so good.
so specifically an era like specific page that you have likely seen. It is emulating that like 100%.
Oh
And
yeah, like the little training videos that you get for your company are fantastic.
So yeah, I've seen bits and pieces of it. Did you connect how does it work with the controller? Because I doubt you connected a keyboard and mouse to play it.
Yeah, no, I didn't use a key. So the left stick is kind of your cursor move, but then you can also flick the right stick to switch between like tabs on the desktop.
That's actually really smart.
Yep. And then you can press one button to do the drop-down menus at the top, like the settings is, I forget what it is, might be like RB or something like that, but you just tap it and it brings the settings menu up. It does take a little bit to get used to, and the game doesn't give you a tutorial. Like it just it treats itself like, for example, it treats itself so much like an experience that there's no pause menu. You just literally have to like log out of AOL kind of deal, and then that takes you back to the main menu to quit. So it's very cool. It's on Game Pass. If you have not played it, go check it out.
I want to say that was made by someone.
It's no more robots. The guys that what's the last game? Descenders. They did that game.
Is that them too?
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, Descenders. Fuck, what a weird connection. Yeah, Descenders was their first game, and then they had a game called Not Tonight, which I've never heard of. That's so weird. All right. I for some reason I thought there was somebody else connected to it. Apparently not. I'm crazy. Oh no, there it is. It was designed by the guy that did Dropsy. Okay, I wasn't crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so you want to hear something else funny? This is also Rattle Like a Games had something to do with this.
Oh, you're fucking me on the PC.
They're on the boot up screen when I booted it up. I thought that was funny. Which, by the way, there's always one, but this week there were 3.
Jesus Christ. Well, 3. Okay, then you have to move on to the other 2, I think.
So the next one.
Keep going in order. If I'm throwing you off, just keep going.
No. I'm just trying to remember what the third one was, because the second one's called A Hero in a Garden, and it looks like I drew this in MS Paint visual novel. I found it to be kind of insufferable. I wasn't really enjoying that. I was trying to remember what the other game was. I thought there was a third one. I swear I saw the logo 3 times this week when I was playing, but according to their website, I'm not seeing another game that I played this week. I swear there was another one. Nope. The most recent games they did were Roommates and A Hero in a Garden, but Roommates, I guess, isn't out. That's probably the game this week. Last week they had 2. They had Even the Ocean and Prehistoric Dude. Those were last week's games. Anyway, so Hero in a Garden, yeah, I didn't really dig that. The next game I thought was kind of neat was Double Kick Heroes, also on Game Pass if you haven't played it. It is a game there's a theme this week. There's a lot of rhythm games this week. So Double Kick Heroes is a game where you are in a car as like a metal band, and you're playing songs in the car, and as you hit the notes, you shoot a gun behind the car that kills zombies. And the idea is to hit the notes in the right time. There's only two, at least so far from what I played, there's only two notes, a high note and a low note. And you can play a high note or a note on any timing by pressing a different button. So on the Xbox controller, like B would be the low note and Y would be the high note. And zombies come at you from two angles. I'm assuming this.
I'm looking at a screenshot, and it's definitely 3 notes eventually.
Okay, so I would say that it probably gets to the point where it goes to 4, so like 1 for each face button.
It's got some pretty cool graphics too.
Mm-hmm. It's got like that pixel art style. Also, the music.
I never heard of this game. What the fuck?
The music is also fantastic. And when you pick a level, it tells you how long the song is. So that's basically how long you have to survive. So it's on Game Pass. So if you want to check it out, go play it.
Yeah, I'll be checking that one out.
The next game is also on Game Pass. Is just awesome. Sorry. The next game is on Game Pass as well, and it's from the guys that did The Flame and the Flood, I think. It's called Drake Hollow. And it is very much a... There's another game recently that was very much like this, and it's got a little Minecraft. You go into the world, you craft like workbenches, but the catch to this game is you pick up these little creatures called drakes, and each one of them has a different ability, like a perk. And as long as you keep them happy, you get to keep that perk. So, for example, one of them will go chop wood, but you also get a bonus to how much they collect per moving back and forth. And the world is just you going around and exploring and removing this like nasty tree branch stuff that's infecting the world. And kind of as you move forward and explore more, you can get more crafting items. It's actually pretty neat. I thought it was a very interesting little take on the genre with your little creatures that you can kind of keep in your camp to help you do stuff. The next game is a playism game. It is also a rhythm-based game where the combat is based on button presses. And it might have the weirdest fucking name of a video game I've had in a while. It's called Giraffe and Annika. And you play as this little cat girl with a friend who is, well, a giraffe. They're named... It's like a hybrid human-animal kind of thing. Like she has cat ears and tail. And he has like the facial
Just called
features.
a cat girl, yeah.
Yeah, he has the facial features of like a giraffe. Very whimsical, very lighthearted. But the combat is based around rhythm stuff. I'm also playing Hot Shot Racing, which I talked about a couple weeks ago because it was in the Insider thing, but it's not out until September 15th, I want to say. Also going straight into Game Pass, and also if you love virtual racing, you need to play it. I'll talk about it then. The next game is also a rhythm style game, and I thought I was going to hate it, and then I kind of love it. It's called Hexagroove Tactical DJ. So the way this game works is you pick a venue, and then during the venue you will be like you get like this radio menu, and then there are 4 different beats for each instrument. And you can switch them on the fly, and the thing is you need to constantly switch them in order to keep things fresh with your DJ set. And if it was just that, you would probably get very bored. But during the set, you'll get this little rhythm-based mini game where you're bouncing a ball around the crowd, kind of like a beach ball at a sporting event. And then you'll go to this like note highway kind of thing, where one of them is button presses of the instruments that you choose, and then the next one is like a directional one where you've got to follow this line, And then at the end of the song for your finisher, you have to follow the line and hit the button presses at the same time.
It looked like the way you described it, except for the line part, kind of like even the screenshots I looked up, kind of reminds me of Amplitude.
Yes, yeah, the Node
Where you
Highway
had
is
to
very much
switch-
like Amplitude. Yeah,
Switch between the different like instruments and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
But this is all in. So like, think of it like a song is a level, and each one of these pieces are different parts of that level. It's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I played it and I expected to hate it, and by the end of the first song, I was like, you know what? This is kind of cool. I like this. So, the next game might have been the other Ratalaika game. I don't know who published this, but it's called Rusty Gun. It's literally a redneck in a pickup truck shooting fucking alien-infested farm animals. It's your standard left to right 2D shooter. There's nothing special about it, but yeah. I tried to play a game called Tech Glitch, but it is literally only multiplayer. You have to have somebody else to play, so I have no idea what it is. I booted up that Cinders game, the adult take on Cinderella. The dialogue seems very. It's got one of those. You start at the end of the game, and then it's like, well, here's how we got here, kind of stories, and I just kind of was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired of that.
I think I'm good.
Whatever.
There's another Chemco RPG, which I booted up for 5 minutes. I'm like, yep, that's one of those. Here's a funny story. There's a game that was included this week called Talking Tom Candy Run. And I booted the game up with all intentions of checking it out. I watched this big crazy cutscene at the beginning, and then the game starts, and I'm assuming that it's a runner, because my character, which was like this very cartoon animated cat looking creature, was running and staring at the camera and waving at the camera. But he just stood there, and I pressed every button on the controller, and he did not move. I did this
10
for
out of
like
10.
Yeah, I did this for like a minute. I couldn't even pause the game, so I had to close the app and just turn it off. And then finally I played a game called Road to Guangdong. And that is a narrative-based game that seems to be very focused around your car. So at the beginning of the game, I think it's your auntie who gives you a car. And one of the first things you have to do is you have to open up the hood and replace the oil, and then you have to fill it with gas. And then you actually get to drive your auntie to like this restaurant. So it's a lot of like managing, but also telling a story. And I think that most of the gameplay is, centered around driving the car and doing things to the car, like making sure that it has enough gas and giving it an oil change.
Making love to it.
No, that's a different TV show.
Oh, I mean, listen, man. You know, these story-based video games go places sometimes.
They probably will, but this seems a little serious. So maybe.
Oh, okay.
You know, she's dealing with things, and it's an interesting game. I will say that. I don't know how much more of it I'll play, but I thought it was pretty interesting. Overwatch. You know, I don't have anybody here to talk about that game. And I think that's it. I did play a lot of Madden because I play Madden. But it really enforced how sad I am that the game it's not great this year. It depresses me. Oh, so let's talk about what's coming out this week. We have got Ari, or is it Ari, and the Secret of Seasons.
Oh, yeah, wow, okay. I didn't realize that game was coming out finally.
Yep.
I have no idea how it's pronounced. I've been waiting for that game for years.
Well, it's out this week.
Hey.
Alongside our Iron Harvest.
that a reboot?
They sent us a code for that game, and I haven't had a chance to reply to tell them I don't have anybody to cover it. Oh wait, no, I did reply.
It's a real-time strategy game that looks like Old War, but why does this sound like?
Because there's the Iron Brigade. That's what I thought of when I heard the name. Iron Brigade.
I've heard of this game before. Like I could have sworn that it was a franchise or something, but apparently I'm crazy. All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I must be confusing with something else.
I'm there with you. I thought the game was like a remake or something. Marvel's Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Edition is out on Tuesday, and then I think the full game's out on Friday. Basically, if you buy the big version, you get it 72 hours. Expansion for Desperados 3, Money for the Vultures, Part 1. Batu Ta Batu. Spell Break, which I think there was a trailer for that at Gamescom. We'll talk about Gamescom in a little bit. Doraemon, Story of Seasons. Oh, wow. NBA 2K21 is out this week. Holy shit. Also out this week, probably the most exciting game for me anyway, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2.
I forgot that was coming out this month too. All right, well.
Great. I mean, Madden came out, so fall season officially starts this week. We get NBA, we get Tony Hawk, we get Marvel's Avengers. Like, here we go. It's time. Speaking of which, I forgot to mention at the top of the show, but here we are, August 31st, 2020. Still no console price. We'll talk about that later. WRC 9 FIA World Rally Championship Deluxe Edition. Follow all that? Crusader Kings 3. CD Run. Mask of Mists. Tell Me Why Chapter 2. I forgot. I did play Tell Me Why. I'm kind of working my way through that game.
Yeah, I need to play that because I like their other stuff.
Yeah, I think you'll like it. I do. Toho Luna Nights is coming to Xbox this week, and it's actually launching in Game Pass. So if you want to check that out, you can check that out. Layer of the Clockwork God.
Hey, I know that game. It's a point-and-click / platformer.
Yep, it's coming to Switch and Xbox this week. I think it's already out on PC.
Yeah, it's been out for over a year. Also, looked up. You said it was Mask of Mists.
Mask of Mists. Yes.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty good dungeon crawler, hack and slash first-person game. It's nothing like amazing looking, but like it apparently exists on Steam already.
I think video games have like really triggered my anxiety lately of like there are so many of them and there are so many to play that I can't get myself to focus on playing just one of them, which is another reason why I think I play so much Overwatch, because it is just it's like a comfort food.
Yeah.
And it sucks because like I was like this weekend I'm sitting there staring at my Xbox, I'm like, well, I could play the Alan Wake DLC. I could, go play another game of Madden. I could go play some more Windbound before I write my review. I could, hook up my VR headset, which I rehooked up. I was like, I'm testing the Turtle Beach 600 stealths for the PS4. I was like, I could put Wipeout in and do some VR Wipeout with that headset. And then I was like,
well, that's just been my issue too. Like, yeah, I keep having those moments where I'm like, I could, or
yeah, and then I boot up Overwatch and play for 3 hours. And I'm like, I should probably stop playing video games and go do something.
Yeah.
So, the vicious cycle. The Coma 2, Vicious Sisters. Let's see other games. So let's take a look at the Switch. Switch. We've got Collapsed, Pocket Circuit, MX vs. ATV All Out, Piffle. That is. Connection Haunted. Good Pizza, Great Pizza.
Okay.
Here Be Dragons. Jelly Champs. Niche, a genetics survival game. Perfect Traffic Simulator. Spinch. Under the Jolly Roger. Sounds like a pirate porn. Fantasy Tower Defense. Paradise Killer. And Roommates. So, another quality week on the Nintendo Switch. Anyway, let's do some news. It was Gamescom, and we had Jeff Keighley in the opening night live, which was probably the closest thing we've had to like a E3 style presentation with like a dude on the stage kind of deal. Yeah, I know it was a green screen, but it looked like he was on stage, and he had Christopher Lloyd. So there's that. But I'm gonna be real honest with you. I don't know how you felt. I don't know if you watched it. There's not a lot.
Yeah,
There's
I
not a lot
didn't
going
watch,
on.
and I'm gonna be honest with you, the trailers that came out, I was like, I'm sure some of them are great games. I just was like, I don't really care.
But we already knew, like 90% of what
Yeah,
they showed that we
yeah.
already knew.
And like there was some stuff that came out around that, like they obviously timed like, oh, I'm gonna put this out while everybody's kind of looking for video game news
Hmm.
places. I'm gonna put my stuff out there, and I'm just like, this is all okay. I'm not like sure what I'm supposed to be excited about right now.
Yeah, it's hard. The one game I thought looked interesting, I want to know more about, is Unknown 9.
See, that one I didn't even hear about, like, because I didn't watch it.
It was literally the second trailer they showed, I think, and it's a new game. It's coming to next-gen consoles. The trailer is very cinematic. It's like this little girl that discovers she's got like this ability to like, I don't know, manipulate the world around her.
Okay. It's
Um,
apparently based off of a comic.
isn't everything nowadays? I guess I shouldn't be shocked by that.
Yeah, like it seems like it's based off of a Dark Horse comic.
Oh,
Interesting. Okay.
yeah, I thought that looked cool. They showed the new Doom DLC, which I find interesting. I saw a quote this weekend that you don't have to own Doom Eternal
Doom.
to play it.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to. I'm like, part of me is like, you should really get in on that Doom DLC, and the other part of me is like, I didn't really like Doom Eternal as much as
Doom 2016. Is that what you're doing?
yeah, no. I didn't like Doom Eternal as much as maybe Doom 2016. It just was like something didn't click with me with Doom Eternal, and like part of me is like, I really should go back and play the DLC, but as it comes out. But I don't know. I like, am I gonna enjoy this more? Like, what if it's just more of what Doom Eternal offered? And I
mean, if
wasn't a
you
big
watch that trailer, it's very much more of what Doom Eternal offered.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, am I gonna just end up spending most of my time fighting the Marauders again?
Oh, that was in the trailer. There's two of them together.
Yeah, because those were always fun when they were. It's the reason why I didn't even watch the trailer, to be honest. I heard there was DLC coming out, and I was like, I don't know if I have any interest in this.
I have it because when they sent us code, they sent us like the big dumb stupid edition.
Of course.
So I'll have it when it comes out. I will certainly play it because Doom is one of those games I can just play, and I'm just kind of okay with it. It's almost mind numbing where you're just playing it. You're like, yeah, this is all right. So I don't know. Just when you thought they couldn't do it again, they totally did it again. BioWare came out and was like doing one of those let's talk around the studio thing about the new Dragon Age without actually like giving any kind of look at the game.
No one cares about those.
Yeah, they did.
I've not one that is. That makes sense at E3 because E3 still has that business aspect to this. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And maybe Gamescom does too. But when you're online, what's the point of showing people that?
Well, they did it.
EA, stop doing this. Stop taking people who clearly don't want to be on camera and being like, "Yo."
I'll tell you. I'll tell you what, though. EA got saved because immediately after that video, and let's be fair, everybody was going nuts because they're like, they haven't heard about Dragon Age. So people were like, oh, Dragon Age, it's really happening. Immediately after that, they did like this 3 to 5 minute trailer for the new World of Warcraft expansion. And normally you would be like, oh, this is awesome because let's face it, Blizzard has like the most amazing CGI artwork. But this trailer looked like a storyboard because I'm assuming they just couldn't
Oof.
get things together because of, what's happening in the world. But it was a very long with like very limited animation storyboarding kind of cutscene. And it did not go over well on the Twitter, as I saw. And then we get, a bunch of updates on games: Crash 4, Star Wars Squadrons, Mafia Definitive Edition. They finally did talk about Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga again. Season 2 of Fall Guys, which is still not coming anywhere because there's timed exclusivity on it. Medal of Honor, Above and Beyond, which is the Respawn VR Medal of Honor. People got excited when they said Sam and Max was coming back, and then people got unexcited when they realized it was a VR game.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I really loved the Telltale Sam and Max games.
Yeah, this one's a VR game.
I mean, like, if you're going to ask me which type of game works best, it's usually like slow puzzle games, and, I'm sure it'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's going to be bad.
No,
It's
I don't
just
think
one of those things where it's like, yeah, I totally understood why people are like, oh.
I think
Okay.
one of the things I heard this weekend, and this resonated with me so much, I was watching Unfiltered with Jeff Keighley. If you don't know what Unfiltered is, every month IGN does like a one-on-one interview with some big industry figurehead. And they were interviewing Jeff Keighley, and they were talking about Half-Life Alyx. And both of them were talking about how amazing that game was. And Jeff said his biggest regret about that game is that so many people can't experience it. Because it is literally like a $500 barrier of entry for that game.
Yeah.
Just for the hardware. We're not even talking about having the PC that can run a VR headset.
Yeah. And the game itself.
Yeah. So like when I think about a VR game, I think about that as to like, this is why it's chicken and egg. You can't get people to play VR. You can't get people to buy and invest in VR if they don't get to play VR, but they can't play VR because they can't buy and invest in it.
I believe that's a catch-22, actually.
Whatever you want to call it. I don't care.
Because it's yeah, and then the chicken and egg is no one wants to buy VR because there's no games, and there's no games.
No games.
I guess that's also a catch-22. There's no games because no one buys the VR. Yeah, you need games first is the issue to push the VR. Like you have to have someone get something like because no one's gonna just buy the headset to do nothing with it. So you need the game. So that's where the chicken and egg thing comes in. This is very confusing. I don't know why I've confused this so much.
Well, it also sucks because like there's like 3 different major VR things, and some of those experiences are available on some, while not available on others.
Well, I have a feeling Oculus.
It's not called Oculus anymore.
Whatever.
That was weird to me. That was
I have a feeling they won't be around much longer.
Yeah, it was weird because there's a couple things about that. They changed the name from Oculus to I think it's called Facebook Reality.
Yeah.
And I get it because Facebook is like one of the biggest things in the world. Everybody knows Facebook. But now you have to log into a Facebook account to use that headset?
Yeah, and I can't imagine people are going to be down for that.
Nope.
So good job for shooting yourself in the foot. If they stick around, I think they'll be marketing towards a more casual audience, which is fine. Right? Like,
but, I mean,
they do have the least I think they have the easiest one because they just have, what is it called? Quest. The Quest is cheap and it doesn't need a PC or a console. right?
Yeah, I've lost track of which Oculus Go, Oculus Rift, Oculus Quest. Like I don't
I
even
think
know
Quest
which
is
one
the
is
one,
which.
but yeah, I have a feeling that that's where their market will be after this. But that's a very dumb decision to require that. That beyond me.
I mean,
But
I feel like the only company that's got the ability and the right setup is PlayStation. I think because everybody can have a PlayStation. The VR headset was affordable at a time for like $299 or whatever, and you've got these games behind it that people know.
well, I mean, if you're gonna ask me like what VR game is the game I should play, can't speak for Alex, of course, because I mean that's a very
Yeah,
expensive
that's. I
headset.
mean, the
And that would
fucking
probably be my answer if I played it, just watching people play it.
sure.
But if you're gonna ask me like what's the most fun I've had in VR, it's still Astrobot.
Yeah.
You know, I think that game is ingenious the way it works, and that's not to say that it's I think the best example of VR, but it's definitely like the best game to play on it because it's just a good game that has VR in it. And it wouldn't be the same without it. And you know
No.
and I have a lot of love for some other VR titles. I mean, Static is still the game I bring up anytime somebody talks about VR on PlayStation because I think it's a really smart puzzle game that, again, another title that wouldn't work outside of VR. So yeah, I think that's the thing too. Is like the amount of games that PlayStation has put out, first party or otherwise. Like Static is made by Tequila Works, I believe. Or no, sorry, it is made by the people that did Little Nightmares.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like you know, these quality studios decided to put stuff out on PlayStation because it was more affordable for people. And sure, it's not the best looking out of all of them, but I don't have to. You just plug it in and it works. So I don't know where the future of VR is, but like PlayStation is the one I have because it was easy to get.
Yep, I agree. I have played with an Oculus and I've played with the PlayStation VR, and PlayStation VR has definitely been the better experience. The headset's more comfortable. The games are just there.
Yeah,
And
like
it's
Blood and Truth
easy.
is still sitting on my shelf. I need to just play it. That's all.
Yeah, I hooked mine back up because I bought Gran Turismo Sport and I was messing around with that VR mode. That VR mode's pretty good.
Yeah, I've got Wipeout. Speaking of Wipeout
Wipeout's
earlier,
incredible in VR. I play that every time I hook up my VR headset.
I-
I always play a couple races of Wipeout.
Tetris on Tetris Effect on PC has VR, I believe, capabilities now. But
It has it on PS4 as well.
but PS4, was where I was playing it, and I started off without VR and put on the VR headset, and the game was far more enjoyable with the VR and everything going around you. Even the small little things like that really get me. I didn't know about the comfortability though. Like I haven't tried any VR headsets on other than the PlayStation.
PlayStation is by far the most comfortable one. All right. A lot of other news going on. Let's jump around here. Resident Evil TV series is coming to Netflix.
Sure.
Yep. Not a shock. Fortnite season 4. Marvel costume. And it's not just like the Marvel you're used to now. It's like actually got Wolverine and shit in it.
Well, no, you know what's crazy is like their version of Thor that they're showing is the current comic version of Thor. Most people aren't familiar with that version of Thor. It's got like 6 issues.
Speaking of Marvel, the Avengers has a battle pass per character that comes out, and when I first heard about it, I questioned it. I'm sure everybody saw my tweet about, say what now? But actually, I don't think it's as bad as it's kind of being portrayed, because they're literally giving you those characters for free, and these battle passes are infinite, so that you don't have to complete them in a set amount of time. If you do complete them, you get the credits back for the game, and they are literally just cosmetics. So,
Have you seen how they're selling credits though?
no, I have not.
Yeah. they're selling credits, and the amounts that they were listed were like, oh, probably the amounts that you'll pay for, and then you have extras left over. That type
Yeah,
of thing?
Microsoft points kind of bullshit.
Uh-huh. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they ended up being all the multiples of what they showed, but it's just kind of like, not this again.
So we will be able to talk, at least we will be able to talk about this game next week. Drew is reviewing it. We got a code this weekend. The funny thing is there should be no reviews at launch because we literally cannot play it until Tuesday. The game doesn't work until Tuesday because it's a live service game and it's not on. So, yeah, we have the game currently, but we can't even play it. So there is that. So here was a story that kind of irritated the piss out of me. So we've been waiting on these new consoles, right? We've been waiting on prices, we've been waiting on release dates, blah, 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 which I think the current rumor is Xbox Series X November 6th, PlayStation 5 November 13th. Sony came out this week and basically set up a goddamn lottery. So you can register on Sony's website to purchase the PS5 through them. However, you are not guaranteed to be chosen for the privilege of pre-ordering a PlayStation 5. What the fuck, dude?
I'm just gonna be honest, and I'm pretty sure I've said it already on this podcast. I'm literally letting this console generation phase me out of gaming. I have enough games to play in my bag. I'm tired of this shit. Again, I'm gonna start moving to I'll review, the random indie stuff on PC. Fuck it. I don't have any interest in this nonsense anymore. Tired of fucking people online complaining about this shit. I'm tired of the companies behind it. It's annoying.
I mean, this game of chicken's already, it's been tiring for a month now.
Month? I'm thinking more like 2.
I mean, yeah. I did not think we would leave the month of August without a price for these fucking consoles, and yet here we are, August 31st. Guess what? We don't know how much these fucking things cost. To kind of dovetail into something else, this is something that I brought up on Twitter. Where the fuck is games running on the Xbox Series X? We haven't seen one.
Fuck if
Like
I
this,
know, man.
this console's out in 2
everything
months.
seems like a bad decision.
Yeah, I don't even know why we're getting consoles this year. And here's the worst part about it. Neither one of them is going to delay, because if one of them delays, the other one wins. So it's not going to happen. I'm going to be real honest with you. We finally did get a game running on Series X, and it was an indie game. It was shown Saturday afternoon. It's the first game people have seen running on that machine. First game. Oh, and by the way, Miles Morales is out in 2 months, and we haven't even seen that played.
You want to know what it looks like? Spider-Man,
I know what it looks
slightly
like.
nicer.
Yeah, but here's my point. Why can't we see it then? I don't
Because
understand.
I have a feeling you're going to be very disappointed to know that it's just Spider-Man and slightly nicer.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not trying to be even prickish about it. I don't know what people are expecting from this.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. I just don't know anymore.
Yeah, did you see the comments about Ratchet? So they showed a new Ratchet gameplay during Gamescom.
Sure looks like Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, but it didn't look as good as that trailer from the.
Well, no, of course not. But
yeah, but like that.
How many times do we have to go through this, old man?
I'm not the one. I knew.
No, that's a SpongeBob reference.
But yeah, like this. Y'all need to realize that, like, when Sony and Microsoft show these things at these events that are not straight there with a fucking HUD.
Yeah.
That shit ain't what it's gonna look like. It's gonna look good. I didn't say Ratchet didn't look good. Ratchet still looks real good.
Mm-hmm.
But it ain't gonna look like.
You can even see it in the PS4 game. Like, the pre-rendered stuff looks different. I'm not gonna say better, because it was kind of like a almost slight artistic change, but like the in-game stuff looked amazing. and it looked different during the cutscenes. Well, the same thing happens when you're making a trailer.
Yeah.
You know, indie stuff is generally where you'll find that the trailer and the finished product are the same thing because they're not spending a bunch of money to make a trailer.
I can't.
Like, I'm sure I'm just repeating stuff to people that I already know, but like trailer making is its own art. They usually have someone on staff that does specifically that. You know, it's video editing. It's like video editing alone usually isn't used in video games because you would render that stuff out as the video. You know, especially nowadays where a lot of stuff is done in engine, it's a bit different. But like, you know, the video editor then takes these sequences that they're given and makes it look as good as possible. That's kind of their job.
Yep.
You know, and I get it. This is also a trailer, but like, you know, what's handed to them is going to be different.
So we joke about, you know, we're not going to know how much the consoles cost until we ring them up. Like, when we get them home, are we just going to open the box and it just be like a fake empty shell of a console because these things don't really exist?
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if it's literally just a pass-through for video and it's all streamed.
Yeah, this is like a fucking Raspberry Pi board inside the big ass box.
Well, man, this isn't the Intellivision Amico.
I don't know, man. It's fucking September. Let's be fair. It's fucking September. We don't have a price. We haven't seen games running on a lot of these machines. Like, Xbox has one game running on it. It's a goddamn indie. You know, the PlayStation 5, like, some games have been shown, but like their big tentpole launch title, we have not seen it played.
Yeah.
We saw Halo get played. Look what happened there. That motherfucker got delayed.
Yeah.
By the way, we can dovetail into another story. Halo fired the person running Halo, and they brought back Joseph Staten.
Brought back a person that was running Halo.
Yeah, basically they pulled the
Yeah.
Gears shit where they like brought back Rod Ferguson to help with Gears 4 and 5. 343, I'm gonna tell you this right now. If Halo Infinite sucks, y'all are fucking done. You fucking done, son. But Halo Infinite now, probably fall 2021. Which is hilarious. We were going to play Halo Infinite in 2 months, Anthony. In 2 months.
I know.
And now it's 14 months, probably.
They cannot have another Halo 5.
No.
And, you know, I was walking, somebody online was going through and, like, I saw, like, their comments, and they're like, yeah, you know, Halo 4, you know. And I'm like, no one said these games didn't look pretty, but the stories were shit. And the gameplay was too far from what Halo was. Like, 4 is close. 4 is like, okay, you're trying to, but like 5 didn't play like Halo. The floating boosters that when you jump, the speed run that you can have, the fact that the fact that grenades are not put on the left trigger. So now there's a iron sights, which wasn't a thing. You know, that changes the core of the game series you're playing. And I know that sounds weird because it seems like natural progression, but Halo made its mark because it chose not to fall into that shit. So, you know, like Call of Duty, iron sights. Sure, fine. The thing that Halo doesn't have is iron sights. It is more of like, it's more like a slower version of Unreal Tournament. That's how I've always described it anyways. You know, it's chaotic. You're jumping around because the physics are a little bit different. You know, you have a little bit of a more spacey jump and stuff. And sure, there's vehicles which change stuff in bigger maps, but like you were playing basically Unreal Tournament, and they were colorful. And don't get me wrong, there were still colorful moments in 4 and 5, but like playing online, I remember a lot of the gritty kind of look stuff when I was playing in maps, and it's like, doesn't this feel like the same game? So they really need to make sure that Infinite, basically remake of 1, from the sounds of it, is good.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Gotta be
like how
really
I feel
good.
like with Crystal Dynamics in the Marvel game, is that I'm worried that because like no one wants anyone to lose their jobs unless like they're real pieces of shit. Like my hope is that like with Crystal Dynamics, even though I'm not looking forward to the Marvel game in the slightest, I'm hoping that they at least do well enough that Square Enix doesn't go, hey, your games don't sell as much as we want, so we're done with you. Because this time around, I don't know if Crystal Dynamics would be able to buy themselves out like IO Interactive, and I don't know if they would get Tomb Raider even if they did. So,
Yeah. I do not know.
man, it's just like it's chaos in the video games right now.
It is, but at the same time, I don't have enough shit to play. I don't have enough time to play all the shit I want to play anyway. So.
Well, that's the reason why I'm kind of just letting these new consoles come out, and like maybe one day I'll grab one. You know, like, but like I have Ratchet games that I haven't played, and I'm not saying All for One is going to be good, or
No, it's not.
you know what I mean. But like, it's like I do have it, and I should play it at some point. To even decide that. So it's like, I have a bunch of games that I have not played. Like I've been told Spider-Man Web of Shadows is great.
Yeah.
I've played very little of it. So, it's a thing that I like to finish at some point.
Backlogs.
Yeah, well, that's just it, right? Like I'm at the point where it's like I have so many games that I'm kind of getting to the point where it's like I should play more of these.
Yeah,
and so
probably.
Backlog, combine that with the fact that neither of these console manufacturers want to give me a price so I can even think or entertain the thought of it. New games that are coming out are either going to be on the consoles I already have, which, okay, I'll take the hit this time, or being delayed. Like, what? Why am I, getting into this stuff? Plus, I feel like more than like last time, like with the PS4 and Xbox One, people are being shittier. Like I'm having
it
to hear
feels
about.
weird to see that it's actually shittier.
Yeah, it reminds me of playground arguments over PlayStation and N64. And before that, I mean, I was in school, but and none of us had the new consoles because we were all super young, so we were still playing Super Nintendo and Genesis, and so like we were having arguments about that too. So.
Oh yeah, the big argument for me and my friends was the Mortal Kombat.
Oh, which one was better? Yeah.
Yeah, which one was better, Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis? Like, well, Sega Genesis got the blood. I'm like, yeah, but it looks like shit.
Yeah. So like, it's that, but it's like worse somehow.
Oh, it's 100 times worse, and here's the reason why is because when me and my friend would yell at each other about Mortal Kombat, it was innocent in a sense. It was a hey, you're dumb, and now you've got these people online like this fucking pony, he doesn't know about this, and this because he's a fucking idiot. And I'm just like, dude, I understand arguing with my buddy when I'm 11. When I'm 35, fuck out of here with that shit.
Yeah.
You're a grown ass fucking human being. Act like one. If you're not 12 years old, I don't want to hear you defend a plastic box.
It's not even that. It's like, I'm tired of rumors. I'm tired of.
I mean, that Super Mario 3D collection's been coming for like 6 months.
It's weird because like, right? Like we were just talking about the awfulness of the Xbox and PS4 or PlayStation. I don't know why I said PS4 specifically. Like PlayStation fanboys, and like they're at least fighting each other, I suppose. Like the Nintendo fans fight each other and Nintendo for stuff that the other fans have made up. Like I just
Oh man.
I'm 28. I'm too old for this. At 28, I'm too old for this. Like
I'm a decade past being too
I
old for
know.
this shit.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like I cannot. And it's like it is. It'd be one thing if these were like 16-year-olds. Like, no, man, you have kids, you have like a family,
Yeah.
and like you're spending your time online. And I'm not shitting on people that like, hey, like there's rumors going on. That's a big difference where they're like, people that are sourcing like, so this person's saying this, and it's a bit different. I mean, I would still be like, hey, maybe you should not comment on every rumor, but it's the people that are like, I have my inside scoop. Fucking no, you don't. You're just
Motherfucker, my
making up
dad
bullshit.
works at Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly. It's a return to all that. I thought we were past this, but it's like now more than ever. Hey, did you know that Earthbound 3 or Mother 3? Fucking.
I just had a brilliant idea, and anybody feel free to steal this because I'm never going to do it. You should come up with a rumors only YouTube channel called "My Dad Works at Nintendo."
Nintendo, yeah. I mean, I still think that the uncle that works at Nintendo was the best part of the Devolver Digital video this year. They brought him out on stage, the uncle that works at Nintendo.
That motherfucker he's lit.
It's
man.
one of the funniest things because he's just making up shit. Like,
of course.
And but they actually used Nintendo. Like they said, this is the uncle that works at Nintendo, and he started saying stuff about some of the characters and Nintendo characters and stuff, like just making up fake lore. It was pretty good.
Speaking of next gen, Microsoft showcased the new Xbox dashboard this week. And some people actually have it already, like the alpha, insider, beta testers. And I've heard it is pretty fucking fantastic. And all I can say is, it's about time. These interfaces, Sony's worked, but it was boring. Microsoft's was interesting, but flawed heavily. And Nintendo's just kind of sucks. I'm gonna be real honest with you. Like the store
Nintendo
layout.
Switch, it's not fun like their 3DS Wii or Wii.
Oh, the Wii with the fucking music and
the 3DS has amazing. Well, I haven't changed it forever, but the 3DS shop music was jamming too. Like a lot of people were like, "Oh, the Wii stuff." I'm like, "That's really good too." Don't get me wrong, but you need to look at the 3DS one, which the 3DS shop music would change based on the season.
See, that's
it would be the same song, but it would have like a little bit different instrumentation and stuff. Yeah,
I need shit like that. I need the Wii. Just put the fucking Wii channel shop music on everything. Could you imagine being shopping for like Assassin's Creed and being bum 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 bum? Come on.
Yeah,
that'd be rad.
Or even have like when you're in the settings menu, just have the Me Maker music. Bum 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 bum.
I'd be down for that. I'd be 100% down for that. License that shit. Everybody get that music. But I have heard that dashboard is really good. I know the store was getting really good.
Yeah, so the store is getting that at this. Like the store will come out at the same time as the new dashboard, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think it's all going to launch when the new console launches, but I think the insiders are playing with it now, which makes me mad because I want to play with it.
Yeah, I've never understood that program, but cool. I'm glad.
There's like 6 tiers of it or something. I don't know. It's confusing. Like you can be in it. Like anybody can join it, but like the people that get
scrub level.
Yeah, but it literally has a leveling system. Which, by the way, every time you earn XP, it makes the Sonic coin sound. I'm not kidding. Kidding.
Interesting.
Like when you get like 20 XP, it goes ba-doing. I'm like, oh.
Whoa, I'm at a gas station right now.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm assuming that's in the States too, right?
Yeah. When you go into a gas station, they ring you up. It makes the Sonic coin sound. Hell yeah. That shit's rad. Every time I hear it, I'm like, gotta go fast. All right. Was there any other stuff coming out? Trying to check here. Yeah, like I said earlier, the rumor is that the dates are the 6th and the 13th of November. But
When it happens, when it's officially announced, I'll believe it.
Sony did a I don't know what you call it, like a financial report or something, basically saying that they are going to continue to invest in new studios for the worldwide studio first parties, and also that they're going to be making more games come to PC.
I'm not surprised. So anybody that's surprised by that is dumb.
Well, I don't think anybody's surprised by it. I think, hello, Sony, they like money.
Yeah.
Their PC ports make a lot of money because PC players want to play these
ports
games.
were better though.
Yeah, they're not. They'll get better. They'll get better. And the other people that care are the people who are like, but it's not exclusive. It's not PC. That's my impression of a fanboy. Because they've been giving Microsoft shit for years that like your games aren't truly exclusive. They're on PC. So anyway, am I by myself? Is that what
No,
happened?
I don't have any comment.
Okay.
What am I gonna say?
Can say that I was right. That's what I like to hear.
Sure, you high five yourself, and I'll.
I do every day. Every day before I go to bed, I'm like, "You're awesome," and I say thank you when I high five myself.
I just cringed physically at how awful that sounds.
You pictured it. You pictured me doing it.
You absolutely understood. It's right in front of the bathroom mirror. Yeah.
Yeah.
I even thought of you putting your hand up against the glass so you could see like you were giving yourself a high five.
I mean, yeah. If you're not gonna do it right, don't do it at all. Ratchet and Clank will have a 60 frames per second mode. That is not 4K. Boy, that lit up the fanboy fireworks there.
But the whole point of this fucking console switch is so we could run a fucking.
We want to do games with gold, or yeah, there's games with gold. The Division.
Yeah, wow, guys.
Not even the one with the number after it. The Division.
Oh, I saw.
The second game is the Book of Unwritten Tales 2.
Okay.
And then on the back compat side, we get The Blob 2.
Hey, The Blob 2 is a great game. I don't know why they would give you this version of The Blob 2. I'm sure it looks great, but it's like you had a remastered version.
I thought the remaster was just the first game.
No, they did both.
Did they really? I only remember them doing the first game.
Yeah, I own both on PS4. Yep.
Oh, well, there you go. And then Armed and Dangerous, which is a hell of a lot cooler than anybody remembers.
I don't know that game at all.
That game was like Monty Python-esque comedy third-person shooter. It's good. Play it when it comes out. It's cool. And then PlayStation Plus games, PUBG, and Street Fighter 5.
God, I'm not paying for that service anymore. Neither of those games interest me.
Street Fighter 5 is a good PlayStation Plus game, but it's such a weird time.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess I get it. They've got a bunch of DLC coming out, so why not give the base game away for free?
Yeah, I don't know. Just not my thing. Are we gonna? Is that it for news?
No, I'm still going. There's a Final Fantasy Legend collection coming for the Nintendo Switch.
It kills me that they're only releasing these on the Switch. God damn it! I want the Mana collection, and I want this.
Oh well.
Bring it to PC. Even I don't give a shit.
Get a fucking Switch.
No, I don't want it.
Or you could wait till next year and get the new Switch.
Nice segue.
Thank you.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I take this like every other Nintendo rumor, and I know that people are talking about it that are more credible than normal. Even then, there was talk about this like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for over a year. So.
Yeah, and again, until Nintendo says something. Mm-hmm.
I just hope it doesn't end up like the DSi, where like 2 games took advantage of it because Nintendo was afraid to segment their audience.
Yeah, that stupid camera.
Yeah, I don't. That's what a lot of people are afraid of with Microsoft now after the Halo thing. It's like there was rumors of them dropping the Xbox One version because, well, let's be fair, that will hold things back. So I don't know. I don't care. Truthfully, at this point, I'm not interested. I'm not overly excited for either one of these new consoles. I think I will enjoy owning both of them, but I don't really feel a need to get either one. I'm sure you've heard of it, but how many people haven't? Hurricane, how you say it?
Turrican.
Turrican is coming
Yeah.
back.
And they
30th
have-
anniversary edition.
Yeah, they have 2 collections that were put out physically. I was like, oh, a collection of Turrican. They're like, oh, no, not a collection. It's 2 collections. And I went, what? And then it was like, yeah, so they're like, and do you want to buy the volume 1 and 2? They're both like in pounds. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a lot of money. I'm not doing this.
It's only on Switch and PS4.
I will be playing them on PS4, though. I'll just buy them digitally.
Everything's coming to Switch. Jurassic World is coming to Switch.
Is that the one where you manage the...
Yeah, like the sim park
Okay.
kind of thing. Yep, that's coming to Switch in November. Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition is releasing in October. Little Nightmares 2 is releasing in February.
That's right. That's right. I knew there was something too. Yeah. Cool. That's a good game. So I'm excited for a sequel.
There are too many video games.
Yeah, but that's the reason why I'm just letting them fucking take me out this new console generation. Then I'll just be able to enjoy the video games that I haven't played. And there won't be as many video games because I won't have the
No,
console.
there'll still be too many video games.
Yeah,
You don't
probably.
even know. You have a PC, so you
Yeah.
literally have everything except for PlayStation and Nintendo exclusives.
Yeah.
So, good God Almighty! I think I'm done. I think I
Okay.
got through everything.
So I excitedly sent you a message and was like, oh, look, there's a new Wonder Boy game. Now my fucking amusement died off very quickly after seeing the trailer.
Oh no! What happened?
Oof. It's a rough fucking thing. So it's not a new Wonder Boy game. It's a remake of 4, Monster World 4, which was originally Japanese only, but you can get it on like this Genesis Mini. There's a collection on Xbox 360 that's forwards compatible with the Xbox One, or backwards compatible. But,
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know what I mean? And it's included in that. And so, like, I was like, okay, it's a remake. So back when like Xbox Live Arcade was a big thing, there was a lot of 3D polygonal 2.5D remakes of games, and a lot of them were like, this is fine, but why wouldn't I just play the original? It looks better, it plays better. This is definitely one of those.
Oh boy!
It looks rough. Like, they showed the picture of the title screen. I was not watching in full screen. I could see pixels on the 3D model. And I was like, what the absolute shit am I looking at? And I'm like, okay, the walk animation is like, it looks like a student project. And they're like, this is from the original team that did it. And I'm like, the original team shouldn't have come back then. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll play it because I'm a whore, but wow, it was so bad. It's brutal. I have not seen a game look like that in over a decade. Wow. I mean, like, we criticize, like, a lot of people criticize Mighty Number 9 for kind of looking bad. No, Mighty Number 9 moves fluidly. This stuff, just good God, it's so bad, Ken. I was so sad, so sad, and I went, well, at least it's a remake, so if it's really bad, I don't have to play it at all.
That's true. That is true.
But like, if they're like, at one point they're like, see, side by side with the Genesis game, and everybody's response is, why would you show us a side by side of this game against the original that looks way better?
Yeah.
Oh, it was bad, Ken. It hurt me. It hurt me on a level I didn't know I could be hurt with a trailer. Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh, I hate when that happens. I hate when I'm excited for something and then I get shit on.
Oh, swift kick in the dick.
Yeah.
Just
Not fun. All right, I got one email from Antonio, and his email is 3 sentences that totally just, I mean, decided to send this from my Gmail because I can't seem to figure out why my Hotmail email types in large font or how to change it, even after going through the settings. Anyways, I actually have hope that we will know the prices within the next 2 weeks. That's it. That's the email. I'm tired. We're all tired. I feel this email.
it hurt me in a place I didn't know it could be hurt by an email. Oh wow. Yeah.
I'm tired of this. I'm there with you. What you said earlier. I'm so done.
It's like it's ruining any joy I could get from a new console launch.
I mean, I feel like this is going to go down as one of the worst console launches in the history of video games.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not excited at all.
Yeah, it sounds like, oh, this is going to be a pain in the ass for me. Cool.
Yeah, and the fact that you haven't given a price 2 months out means that they're really fucking expensive.
I'm thinking about less so even like the price of just like, you're like telling me, like, oh, look at this, all this stuff. I'm like, okay, but like, is there going to be games that I should play on this? Like, do you do like Spider-Man? Like, is that it? Okay. Like,
Yeah, I
or
think
upgraded versions of games you can play now. Well, that doesn't require a purchase of an amount of money but it doesn't require a purchase of an unseen amount of money. You know.
I'll tell you. I think what I think is really hampering this new generation, were those incremental consoles.
Oh, for sure.
If I didn't have an X, I would be fucking stoked.
And I don't even have like an X or a PS4 Pro, and I just don't like. I've at least understood like, oh, I should probably get a Pro, but then they're like, a new console's coming out. I'm like, okay, and then now it's like, and it might not play all your games. Well, then,
Yeah, that part really bothers me because I want to get rid of my Pro.
So I have to get an adapter for the fucking headset VR, and it won't play all my games necessarily. Like, what? And it's like, it's still unclear. It's still unclear what Sony... it can and can't do. And it's just like, I'm trying to be a smart consumer, right? And figure out how to buy your product. And you are doing everything in your power to make it impossible for me to do so. It's like when the pre-order charts come out, they're like, you know, anybody that pre-orders is just trying to be like a good consumer, right? And show faith in, you are absolutely fucking those people.
I mean, just sign up for the lottery. You might be able to win a chance to pay for a PS5.
That tells me that they don't have enough.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like, if the story that came out a couple months ago was that they were upping production, that they would have plenty for the fall.
Clearly they don't.
Yeah.
Because that is what you do when you don't have enough. That way it's fair, right?
I don't, but it's not fair. Like, I heard some of the criteria is like your engagement.
No, I mean, like, it's fair if they, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, are they trying to get rid of scalpers? But even then, like, I don't know. Like, if this is a way of trying to combat scalping, cool, I suppose. Like, I hate scalpers, so whatever. It just, none of it makes sense to me. None of this launch makes any sense to me. Like, I'm questioning, like, do I like video games to this extent? Like, this just seems like this is more hassle than it's worth. I don't know if I enjoyed them this much. Like, I think we finally hit the point where I'm just like, I don't fucking like video games this much.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's like, I'm sure there's some big Marvel fans that looked at the game and, like, big Marvel fans in general, right? Like, they like video games of Marvel, they like the comics, movies, and we're looking at the game, and as soon as, like, there's price points and stuff, it's just like, this is... Everybody hits that point where it's like, this is just kind of... We've hit the level of bullshit I can take. I'm hitting mine.
Yeah, this is the least excited I've been for a console launch, and I couldn't tell you how long.
Yeah.
I really can't think of another time. I think back to every launch, like every video game console launch, there's been like I don't know, there's been like a touchstone.
Well, not even launch, but like, oh, within the first 3 months, there's this. And like, even that we haven't really gotten. Like, they're like, oh yeah, this is coming out early on. It's like, launch window could be a year. That's not really helpful. You don't give a date, it doesn't help me at all. Like, give me a second. We did that. Somebody had that list of list of video game console launch titles that are.
I'm not.
I'm not having you guess them again.
I was gonna rattle them off again. Yeah, I did pretty good.
I'm just looking at, like, we know the Switch had Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild, yeah, huge.
I'm looking for, like, I'm assuming we're not including handhelds, but like, I like, say what you will, but like New Super Mario Brothers U was a Wii U launch title. Zombie U, which they really pushed but didn't hit. Fuck, it's just like there's just nothing this time around other than Spider-Man, Miles Morales.
Yeah, it's literally Spider-Man.
And I'm sorry, I didn't like Spider-Man that much to play more of it this soon. And I'm not saying it's a bad game, but I didn't want to play the DLC either. I didn't buy the DLC. I had no interest in the DLC.
I saw somebody the other day say that Miles Morales was going to sell 10 million copies, and I'm like, by when?
Yeah, that's a very vague statement.
Because, like, you're not going to sell 10 million this year, because there ain't going to be 10 million PS4s.
If they made 10 million, that is exactly how you got the video game crash.
The only way Miles Morales, well, they don't make video games anymore, they just put them out digitally, but...
You know what I mean, though.
Yeah, the only way Miles Morales is going to sell 10 million copies this year is if it comes out on PS4. I think, I tell you, and I think I said this last week, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating it, but y'all motherfuckers need to step outside your echo chamber every now and then. When these new consoles come out, 95% of people who play video games don't give a fuck. They are going to be playing on PS4 or Xbox One. They're not going to be playing on PS5. They're not going to be playing on Series X. 95% of people who buy consoles are not buying one this fall. So step out of your echo chamber and realize that no game is going to sell double-digit million copies on these new consoles for a solid year.
It's the same when people talk about the Wii. Like, people always think, like, oh, the Wii launched and it was this huge... No, it wasn't. The Wii launched, it did well, for sure.
It took a long time before it became that phenomenon.
I had it before I started working, and I worked the first Christmas season where the Wii was huge. So I had it when I was 15, and when I was 16 and working, it was crazy. So yeah, it's like it doesn't happen right away. Nothing is ever like flying off the shelves like that. You won't see it necessarily, but like, the PS4 was popular, but a lot of it was scalped too. So you don't see it on shelves because scalpers are trying to benefit off of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, I don't know. I feel like PlayStation 5 is in shortage because of what it is and what it does and all the, the components inside of it and the way it's manufactured. And I think those will be hard to get this year, and it's not because everybody wants it, it's because there's not enough to meet the demand. Do you think Series X will be readily available this fall? I think if you want to buy one, you will be able to buy one. And I think it's because Microsoft got that pipeline started a hell of a lot sooner than Sony did. And their hardware, while powerful, is not overly complex like that SSD that's in the PlayStation. I think Microsoft is going very boilerplate on their components. So I think Series X will be readily available this fall and PlayStation 5 will not, which makes me also wonder, will people who are just adamant for new technology just buy one because? You know what I mean? I don't know. I can't predict how things are going to go. When I went to the PS3 launch and then to the Wii launch a week later, I could have never predicted that the Wii would have outsold the PlayStation 3. It's impossible to know that. Hell, I didn't think when I picked up a 360 that it was going to do better than the PlayStation 3 for the first few years. You know, I bought one because I liked Xbox, and it came out a year before the PlayStation 3 and the Wii came out. So, I don't know. Anyway, gonna do some tweets.
Yeah, let's do some tweets.
Mookie says, if you had to choose one, what's your game pick for September?
Man, I don't know what's coming out in September.
Let me pull up a little list here of September games. Well, obviously we've got Tony Hawk, we've got Avengers.
Yeah, there's Ari, which I've been waiting for, so maybe that counts.
Kingdoms of Amalur, Re-Reckoning.
That's absolutely not.
I'm just scrolling through the list here. Spelunky 2. Crisis Remastered, WWE 2K Battlegrounds.
Oh, that's definitely my fucking...
Genshin Impact.
We were talking about that the other day. Genshin Impact. I don't know how that's gonna work. I really don't know how that's gonna work.
I mean, it's
supposed to be
free. So I'll play it.
I'll try it for sure.
Mafia Definitive Edition, 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim.
That looks really good. I'm pretty sure Jay's interested in that as well.
Yeah, we got the request for the review code this week, so I filled out the form. So if whoever wants it, that'll be available.
I believe Jay asked for it. So
okay, it'll probably be in the next week or so. I know he's finishing up Mortal Shell. I think he finished that this weekend. So, that's about it. I think for like big games. Is there anything on Xbox? I don't remember if there's anything on Xbox.
There's an Earth Defense Force 5 apparently.
That's not even on the list I'm looking at. That's crazy. Like all the exclusives are done for both of these consoles right now.
I don't know if that's retail. It's got to be retail because I reviewed 5. Yeah, I reviewed 5. Why is it? So they're only now releasing on disc? That's weird. Okay.
I mean, for me, it's because
I know there's another There's that Earth Defense Force that's on voxels. That boy, I'm tired of Earth Defense Force games now. What a monkey's paw that was. I don't know if my computer can run it. I think Serious Sam 4 might be my most excited.
I thought that was Stadia exclusive.
Is it really? Oh, it is. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about Stadia exclusives.
Yeah, fuck that noise. Yeah.
I have a Stadia.
No, I think it's just PC, and then it says Stadia. So no, I think it's on PC as well. I think we're good. I fucking hope so.
Tony Hawk for me, clearly.
Yeah, I think Ari and the Secret of Seasons, because I've been waiting for that game for years.
I'm gonna play so much goddamn Tony Hawk this week.
Yeah,
you have no fucking idea. Tony Hawk, motherfucker. I'm going back to, what is that, 1999? I'm going back to 1999. Whenever that shit came out, I'm going back. Man, I remember buying that game.
Skate around to Suicide Machine's New Girl.
Fucking Superman. I'm just gonna put
New Girl's my jam, man. I like Superman, but
I'm just gonna put Super. That's the only song I want in my soundtrack. Hopefully, you can customize the soundtrack.
Yeah, I've heard you can. I've heard
just Superman.
Oh man, New Girl. They have Speed Dealer's Screamer.
Guerrilla Radio. Come on,
yep.
Guerrilla Radio. Let's do that. I'm gonna do that. Curtis says, "What's up, fellas?" I like this question. I think it's gonna spark some good. I think we've already had some conversation. But he says, "What's up, fellas? Do you guys think there's something wrong inside the Xbox camp? Because all the news surrounding Series X lately seems to be painting a bad picture for Microsoft and Xbox. Why is there no gameplay being shown on actual Series X while captured on PS5 is all the talk?" I start to wonder that myself.
I think
Ooh.
I don't know at this point. I don't know what either of these fucking console manufacturers are trying to do.
I don't understand it because I heard a conversation on a podcast this past week that was really good about how when Microsoft first started talking about this, they were all out in the open. Like, here's the fucking console. Here's the controller. Here's what it does. Here's the games that are coming. And then they were like, every month we've got new information. Dude, you skipped 2 of those months. It was supposed to be what, like a 5-month lead up? Like every month we're going to have a new event. Here's some information, right? Out of the 3 or 4 that have happened, 2 of them you canceled.
I wonder how many how much COVID infected it.
I mean, I'm sure that's part of it, but you announced the event stuff after COVID.
I'm wondering if they thought it was going to be less of an issue. Not so much that it wasn't going to be an issue, but it was going to be less of an issue.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
know.
we'll all put on masks. It'll be way quicker, and then no.
I mean, to completely shut everything out, and I know some of it is the game of chicken that they're playing with the price. But for God's sakes, we've known for months about the Series S, and we've known officially about the Series S for almost a month. Like, you can't even hide it anymore. It's in a goddamn instruction manual, and Microsoft still hasn't even mentioned it. Like, they don't even confirm that it exists. So, I don't know, man. Shit seems weird over there. Like, Halo was launching one day, and then the next day it's delayed for like a year. What the fuck is happening? Why haven't we seen Assassin's Creed Valhalla running on Series X? Why haven't we seen Watch Dogs running on Series X? Why haven't we seen like a tech breakdown video of fucking Gears of War 5 running on the Series X? I mean, that shit's got to be up and running, right? If you're launching in 2 months.
I don't have any comment. I'm sorry. I don't know. That sucks for a conversation, but I really don't know. I have no idea what's going on. None of this makes sense to me, and I'm just kind of like, every day I drift a little bit further away from understanding what any of this is.
You know what I would love? I would love to read a book about the video game industry and launching a console in 2020. A tell-all book, not a book that omits interesting shit. All right. Dustin sent us some tweets. He says, checked out The Tourist since you guys were gushing about it. It's fine. I did a couple monuments. I don't know if I'll pick it back up. Maybe if I'm bored.
It's kind of how I walked away from it. I mean, it was good. It was just, there wasn't like, I wish there was a bit more to it. I hated the surfing minigame.
Yeah, I tried to master the surfing minigame.
I couldn't get I couldn't get the trophy attached to that. Or
yeah,
the
I
achievement.
can't.
I was like, all right, well, this sucks.
I've been trying to get the achievement for a while, and I can't get it.
I'm
and
missing
it's like
2, I think. 2 achievements.
And to be fair about that game, I think that I like it so much because, number one, I'd never heard of it. It came out of nowhere. It's on fucking Game Pass. You know how much I love it when I play a game on Game Pass and it's fucking
that
good?
That is the perfect Game Pass game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, like, I'm pretty sure a sequel to this game would take more chances, because I think this was a game that they put out taking a risk. And I'd love to see something a little bigger. I think they kind of kept everything small here, and I think there's some interesting stuff you could do and have a little bit more complex puzzles. Like, to me, this is almost the start of a new game that, like, it reminds me of Fez in a sense. Because Fez and Reventure, where these games are puzzles, but based on exploring the world, you sort of solve things. So I'm excited to see what they do next, because again, they, at the end of the game, they do imply there's a potential for a sequel. So.
Yeah. I fucking adore Game Pass. Between this and Gato Roboto went into Game Pass, which is also another perfect Game Pass game. Fucking Messenger, Carrion. Carrion's a game that I wouldn't have been as sold on if I'd have paid for it, but if it's in Game Pass, like I'm enjoying the shit out of it. Not to skip ahead to another tweet that he has, but Spiritfarer is another great Game Pass game. So, I mean, there's a lot of great games in Game Pass. I enjoy it. Like knowing that Hot Shot Racing is launching into Game Pass, that's really fucking cool. And then you've got stuff like, when Halo comes out, regardless of how good or whatever it is, it's in fucking Game Pass. So you can play it if you got Game Pass. Next tweet, Battletoads is probably my biggest disappointment this year so far. I don't care for the art style, the humor is terrible, and it's not that fun. I agree with John, there's too many mechanics for a simple beat 'em up. Why do I need 4 different buttons for my tongue? Well, you gotta get that super tongue action, man. No, I totally get there's a lot of people who don't like Battletoads. I enjoyed the shit out of it. I played straight through it, I think in like 2 sittings. Of course, it's only like 4 or 5 hours, but I loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
I need to play it still.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I did feel like the platforming stuff towards the end went on a little too long, and the speeder bike levels going a little too long. But other than that, I enjoyed my time with it. I had a ball. As I mentioned, he says, for anyone who has Game Pass, check out Spiritfarer. Even if you don't think you'll be into it, just give it a chance at least. You might be pleasantly surprised. That game is very good. It's very good. Played the Avengers beta on PS4 Pro and didn't have any issues. The game is fine, and people who buy it and play with friends will have fun. Hopefully they have a good end game to keep the players happy. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I don't
Not
know.
this week.
I mean, I think I've been pretty negative on it. Like, I don't have anything. Like, the only fear I have is that if it doesn't perform, Crystal Dynamics gets screwed. But otherwise, I don't want this game to fail. I think they've done some shitty stuff with it, but like that still doesn't make me want it to fail, especially when Crystal Dynamics may be on the line, but I could be just paranoid there.
I hope it's good. I really, really, really hope it's good.
Yeah, I mean, I hope people have fun. From what I've seen and heard, though, it's not for me, and that's.
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it out. See
I have no interest in even trying it. That being said, like, it's weird. I say that, but then like Suicide Squad seems interesting to me.
Well, I think Suicide Squad is not, at least from what I've heard, is not a like looter.
Well, then
not
that
like
changes things. Maybe I just, to me, it was like maybe it's even the presentation, the quality of the presentation of Suicide Squad so far.
I mean, if you remember, the Marvel thing looked really cool when they first showed it too. So
okay.
I don't know. You know me, I'm a DC guy, so Suicide Squad appeals to me more clearly.
Yeah, I'm more of a DC guy than Marvel, but even then, like, I don't have any, like, I don't know, just even the Spider-Man thing and everything. I don't know. This game just kind of got ruined by, I think, all the conversation around it, and it isn't my type of game because I wasn't a big Destiny fan either. Even though the shooting's great, it wasn't for me. So.
Oh, we'll talk about Avengers next week. I had an interesting conversation with the reviewer. We have not played final version, so this isn't like a embargo breaking or anything. But we both agree that we think the game is going to sell well, and I think it's going to review middling. I don't think that it's going to get 80 plus Metacritic. I guess that's our standard, right? We say whatever plus. I don't think it's going to be 80 plus. I think it's going to be in high 60s, low 70s.
Yeah.
But it'll still sell well because it's the fucking Avengers.
Well, everybody I've heard who talks about it just brings up the fact that it's like, I'm playing as Hulk.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing damage counters on enemies. That doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's what happens when this has to, like, it doesn't matter how Hulk plays differently. If all you're doing is just figuring out different ways to make numbers go down, like, you know, I don't know what to say. Like, to me, when I'm playing a shooter, or you know, like, I know this game's not a shooter, but it's kind of built around like the basis of Destiny or Division. Like, the last thing I want to do is play as a character who has something that should kill an enemy and just watch it sponge. You know, like, So I don't know. I didn't really like the look of the characters when I saw them either. Like everything this game showed, I was like, this doesn't look good. But again, like I hope people enjoy it. Like I hope it's not a horrible disappointment. Even if reviewers don't like it, I hope that people are like excited to play their characters. And I'm sure it's way better when you're playing with friends. So
Maybe. The next tweet is full of sarcasm. Can you guys comment on the lack of new console pricing and ongoing fanboy console war? I'd really like to hear your angle on these hot topics. Well, clearly, because you keep listening.
yeah.
Ha! Finally, anyone getting the NES Lego set? No. That thing is the price of a fucking
Console.
console. So
I
want
gonna...
it. I sure as hell want it, but
Mhm.
I cannot spend $250 on a Lego set. I can't.
Yeah, no. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've seen the engineering that went into that. Like,
it's
to make
amazing.
it work. It's amazing. It's a spectacular piece. Like the cartridge pushes down and stuff, and I've heard about the mechanism that you have to build that does that, and I'm like, this is all really impressive, and that's where your money's going. Not just for it because it's licensed, and not just because it's a bunch of pieces, but because of how much work went in to make that a possibility. That being said, I just cannot justify that price.
I have not denied that thing is worth $250, but I personally cannot spend $250 on
I was saying that to someone yesterday that it's like as soon as something goes over $150, I have to start thinking in my mind of like, is this worth it? And it's like, no, not for a Lego set. Sorry.
I would put it together, which would be super fun. It would probably take me like a couple days, and then I would never do anything with it.
Yeah, exactly.
And like when we built the Lego Bastion, like my son and I did that in like an hour and a half, 2 hours or whatever. Like, and that was like $30. I felt like that was fine. But $250 is a lot of money, man. It's a lot of money. So
if I was made of money, I would have had that and the Mario sets. But
absolutely. If money was no object in my life, I would totally have those things. But I can't do it. I think the most I would go on that thing is like 100, maybe 150. But that would be like a very special event, like a tax return or a Christmas present or something like that, you know. Yeah, when you get up into that amount, it's hard. Anyway, that's all the tweets. If you want to tweet us at N4G Podcast. If you want to send us an email, it's podcasts@ztgd.com. You can follow me at ZTGD. You can follow the site at ZTGD Content. You can check out Phoenix Down in the midst of, God of War going on right now. You can yell at Drew on that show because he's not coming on this show. So, welcome. I think that's it. Will we go into September, the first episode of September, without a price on consoles? Probably. Will we finish September's episodes without a price on the consoles? You think?
I'm at this point too scared to guess.
We're going to have 4 episodes in September. The last episode's on the 28th of September. Will we have a console price by September 28th?
I'm going to guess no.
Wow. If we make it to October without a console price, that is fucking bonkers. Bonkers. I got nothing, man. It's something. Never seen anything like this.
Yeah. Also, John St. John is doing the Quotes of Duke stuff now, so JSJ is Duke on Twitter. Go and listen to him read off stupid shit as Duke Nukem. It's important for your life.
People's gotta keep themselves sane during this crazy world. But anyway, if there's nothing else going on, that's the end of the show. First person.
Alrighty. And it goes something like this.
Epic fail. Welcome to the N4G podcast. $0.
This is going to be a very interesting episode.
Greetings, programs. I got lost trying to find my way to the secret underground N4G Radio lair.
The Wombat.
I've always lived being angry.
Killer Wolverine. Play games, not consoles. No fanboys allowed.
And then I killed the dragon. 8.0.
Killed the dragon.